Americans will measure in anything but meters or kilometers or kilometers, if we want to say it that way. So, you know what, though? It's actually Europe's fault that we don't use the kilometer, because our good friend Thomas Jefferson wrote to France and said, hey, we want in on that there meter that you're talking about. Send us the standard. And on the way here, England and France got in a war, and an English pirate stole the meter and didn't give it back to America. So we still had to use what we had, which was the mile. Now, I think everything America measures in makes sense. We measure using a human body. Inches of thumb's width. A foot is a foot. A foot. An average man's foot is a foot. A yard is a stride. An average man's stride. That's an average man's. Everything is related to human beings. And don't even get me started with Fahrenheit versus Celsius. Celsius is jacked up. Who cares about water and frozen this and I care about human comfort. So Fahrenheit's a much better scale. Then we use the mile. And the reason we use the mile, I'm going to guess, is because Roman legionnaires, 1,000 strides was a mille, which was 1,000 strides for a guy in armor. So we're just using what's always been. America's old school. So anyway, there you go. Oh, and you know what? The American football field and the soccer field, hey, look about the same size. I don't know if they are. If you know, put down in the comments if those two could be equivalent, because I'll start comparing things to soccer fields, which of course, that's what y'all call football. So you got to say American football or football, but we say soccer. I don't know. I don't understand. I bet you that Pirate's involved in on that one too. Then, when I was a kid, President Jimmy Carter, he made a genuine hard effort to get America back on the meter system. But by then we were like, no, we don't want to provoke a war in Europe. So we told Mr. Carter we're not doing it. And he tried really, really hard. And we all, listen, I heard so much crying from adult men when I was a kid about the not in U.S. standard, blah, blah, this is, and blah, 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 that's. But I think we rejected the meter system with President Carter because we didn't want to cause another war between France and Britain. Because, that's what would happen. Okay, sign us up, give us one more of them meter sticks so we know what we're talking about. And England would attack France, and y'all would have had a war in Europe. That's the honest truth. Well, I'm about halfway there. I always pull over, let the cars around me. There's quite a few folks. And then I inspect my trailer, make sure everything's looking good. Not dragging a chain. If you drag a chain and it sparks out and lands in that brush, it'll cause a fire. So for my good friends in Europe that watch my show, I'm going from Flatonia, Texas to Smithville, Texas, which is about a one-day ride on a horse, a good horse, a noble steed, on the Camino Real, the Royal Road of Spain. And then from there, I'm going about a day's ride to Page, Texas. And then from Page, Texas to McDade, Texas, I'm going one plow horse day's ride. Because McDade's out in the middle of nowhere. Page is hardly anything. Smithville's a little bit of nothing. So if I was to convert that for y'all into something you understand, it would be about 3,000 football fields. Well, I'm 2/3 of the way there. I pulled over to let traffic around me. So, but don't worry, you European friends of ours. When America wants to talk about killing people, we always use the metric system. 9mm, 155. I think a click. I always hear that in the movies, that the Marines are it's 2 clicks. I don't know what 2 clicks is, but I'm going to bet a click is a kilometer. But anyway, at least and I'm blaming the pirates, and I'm blaming that war between Britain and France. It was forever fixated the metric system with war with America. That's why we measure everything by, human body parts. Feet, inches, hands, miles. Even our airplanes fly a Mach, which is the speed of sound, right? America likes to measure things by things that we understand, concrete stuff. All right, I'm back on the road. Got to turn this off. Well, I've made it to McDade, Texas. Here y'all go. A little house made out of a silo right there. All right, well, I had a long drive, and while I was thinking, my dad talked a lot about metric system. He said, watch out for them 88s and screaming Mimis and deuce and a halves. I don't know none of that. My whole life I've been looking around for 80, 88s to blow me up, and screaming Mimis never happened. Oh, and you know, President Jimmy Carter, he was just too nice of a guy. America can't have nice guys for president. Not only does his tax money go to pay for the poor, that man has built more houses for homeless people than he could count. Good man, excellent man. But America doesn't need an excellent man for president. Apparently, we need scoundrels, I guess. That was my deep thought. So there you go. How to measure everything and how that impacted America, and why I'm blaming Europe for America not having the metric system, because of pirates, British pirates. Now this here fellow was standing so still watching me that I thought he was one of those statues. He is not. That's a good looking longhorn there.